The following contains graphic images and language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Officer Turney Tamburo is just moments away from a horrific shootout. How she survives after looking down the barrel of a gun is a miracle.
Anyone got weapons in here you know about, okay? Alright, to the front. Ooh! Hey! Hey!
Before you know it, the chase is on, and shots are fired.
Ron Jones reports. Police body cam. Shocking encounters.
Wounded and exposed on the ground with a suspect that has more than a dozen rounds left in his clip. Hello, I'm Ron Jones. I'm a former police sergeant and field training officer, and welcome to Police Body Cam Shocking Encounters. I'm gonna walk you through how, after she was knocked down to the ground from gunfire, was able to fight back and survive. Let's head back to Vegas. 24-year-old Officer Turney Tamburo has only been on the Vegas Police Department for 2 years now. She and her partner were working in an area on University Center Drive. It's considered a hot spot for violent crime. It was 1:13 in the morning when Officer Tamburo and her partner made a vehicle stop for a traffic violation. 3 men got out of the car, including the passenger, 27-year-old Gabriel Charles. He's armed with a gun, and she doesn't know it. As Tamburo went to pat Charles down for weapons,
Anyone got weapons in here
it happened, and the chase was on.
Ooh! Hey! Hey!
As Charles was running, investigators say he then turned and fired a single shot, striking Tamburo in the hip, knocking her to the ground. While on her back, all within a split second, she quickly returns fire, hitting Charles. Wounded, she grabs her radio and calls for help.
Shot fired! Shot fired! Shot fired!
Concerned she would lose consciousness and bleed out. Her partner runs up and applies a tourniquet to stop the bleeding and gets her to the trauma center.
Right on leg, how far up?
My radio fell. My radio fell. Give me your radio.
I got you, don't worry.
Hi.
She grabs her radio and gives dispatch their exact location so other officers can help.
I'm going to be off of University Center in Flamingo, the University Gardens. I'm going to be on the north side right when you enter.
Charles, on the other hand, dies from his wounds at the hospital. But here's what's interesting. Charles actually had 14 more rounds in his pistol, but he only shot once. Why? Investigators say his pistol jammed. Charles was only able to squeeze off 1 round.
The brass was stuck in the chamber and it had to be manipulated to be able to get that out before you could shoot again. All I can say is the gun will not fire when it's like that, but there were 14 additional rounds in his magazine.
It could have been a different story, a different outcome for that young officer, but she lived to see another day. We're going to bring in one of our special subject matter experts, Captain Johnny Davis. He's a retired command officer with the Oakland Police Department out of California. So let's jump right into it, man. We just saw the video of this young officer. She makes a traffic stop. So some people out there may be wondering, well, we heard about this probable cause phrase. What does that mean when an officer is going to pull someone over or investigate? What does this probable cause mean in the first place?
Probable cause gives an officer reasonable suspicion that a crime has occurred, about to occur, or is in progress. We have to establish probable cause, and sometimes probable cause can be as simple as the light over the license plate is out, the windows are tinted, a busted tail light, the turn signal, or even the individual driving the car not obeying the vehicle code, may have rolling stop, do a stop sign. All those things give rise to an officer's stop. It puts the attention of that vehicle to the officer. That a car just drove through and did nothing wrong, or nothing was wrong with it, the officer would have no reason to look at it. But when there's something wrong with the vehicle, that starts the probable cause chain right there.
What saved her life is she stayed in the fight. And the crazy thing about this, Captain Davis, is that not only was she hit, she falls to the ground, she was able to unholster her weapon and crank off 4 rounds at the suspect. And it eventually, unfortunately, he died. But talk about like muscle memory, training, all of that. Even though she's been hit, her adrenaline level is like through the roof. Just talk about the importance of training and being able to respond so quickly to crank off 4 rounds.
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm glad that she survived the encounter. Oftentimes these things go bad for the police really quick and we end up losing an officer. It is unfortunate that an individual got shot, but that's the unfortunate part of it. She relied on her training. At some point in time, she thought this through in her head. We hope it never happens, but we always say, what will I do if? And the one thing that you can do to save yourself and your partner officer is stay in the fight as long as you can. And that's what she thought. She at that point in time when she went down, she was the only person that could stay in the fight and save herself. And as I reviewed that video, I saw that there was a malfunction of the suspect's weapon. That's what saved her life. The malfunction of the suspect's weapon, she's prepared to stay in the fight and do what she had to do. And in this instance, for all intent and purposes, the suspect wasn't prepared. So unfortunately for him, he lost. And he lost against an officer that was willing to do everything she could do to stay in the fight.
We have every hope that she'll be back to work as soon as possible.
Now, let's get to the good part. Weeks later, Officer Tambora was celebrated leaving a Vegas hospital to the applause of her fellow officers in blue. They consider her a hero.
Thanks for watching Ron Jones Reports. Police Body Cam. Shocking encounters. For other episodes, visit our website or follow us on social media.